How fuel efficient is LDV D90 or SAIC Maxus D90? In this video I will tell you my personal experiment as a private owner of this car, what my findings are, what my feelings are generally about fuel efficiency and anything related to that. Stick around, let's talk about it. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm Dimitri and this is MG Owners Australia. It's raining again in Sydney, but we have to record when we can, so I apologize for a little bit of ambient noise. How is the fuel efficiency of LDV D90, this massive car that I bought not long time ago? I replaced my MG HS Essence with it, and I still, by the way, love it. I still love it. I love the feeling on the road, and we will talk more about my further kind of findings. There are a couple of things that annoy me, but not as much, I'll be honest, as some of the aspects of MG HS used to do. So the petrol tank of this car, this is a petrol version of the vehicle. It's a two-wheel drive. This is not a four-wheel drive, and as I just said, not a diesel model. That's just for your information. The capacity of the petrol tank here is 75 liters. So I obviously took measurements. I took a certain note of how many kilometers there were before I refueled, and when I again ran dry. The car runs on 95 unleaded petrol and up, 95, 98 if you want to spend extra money. And the car went for 541 kilometers. The driving was done kind of in mixed environments. I have not done much of highway driving, but some of it was highway driving. Not massive, not like long stretches, interstate or something like that. It was mostly in the city. This stretch was mostly in the city, and it was mostly without air conditioning being on, which is very, very important, right? Because air conditioning always increases the fuel consumption. But in this particular case, yes, I had it on a couple of times, but not. So I would say it's an average. It's probably an average, and I'm pretty happy with it. Even if my further experiments with a lot more city driving, let's say, and some more of air conditioning will result in something in the ballpark of 500 kilometers, like this time we did 540, I would still be quite happy, me personally. Let me know in the comments down below if this also fits into your assessment of what a good, reasonable fuel efficiency is for a big car. Let's not forget just how massive this car is. It's not a small car, it's a 7-seater. It's a big car, okay? So currently in Australia, in Sydney specifically, in May 2022, the fuel price of 95 petrol, not in every station, they are all different petrol stations, but it is about 185.9 per liter. That, that is expensive-ish, but again, I'm comparing to the world before COVID, world before all the international troubles that are hitting Australia and other countries of the world. So for the full tank, which was, the light started flashing, and by the look of it, I needed to refill almost 70 liters, 68 liters. I paid $127 Australian total. Again, because the memories of the good old days are still fresh, to me it seems like it's on the expensive side, but I've seen worse. I've seen the worst spike in the prices when the petrol, at least here in Sydney, was cost more than $2 per liter. Right now it's a little under that, especially if you look around. Some petrol stations are obnoxious. I don't recommend that you jump at their offers straight away unless you're completely desperate. So with these given kind of parameters, the price per petrol, the capacity of the tank, and how many kilometers it gives you, I'd say anything above 500 kilometers is efficient in my book for a massive car like this. Yet again, please let me know what do you think, and I will continue experimenting and seeing if that pattern changes a tiny bit or if it is consistent for me. Now, very, very briefly, because that's all basically when it comes to fuel efficiency, fuel consumption, that's all I have to tell you. But I will add up a little bit to make better use of your time tuning in into this video. I'll tell you a couple of other things, my observations about the car, especially in the department of how it drives, fuel, driving, power, etc. So I generally still very much like it, but I'm not commenting here on the general feel of the car and how I see it as a driver, how big I feel on the road. You already know, I spoke to you about this. I like all of that stuff. I still very, very much enjoy it. As far as the power of the engine is concerned, First of all, uses 95 fuel. Secondly, I have tried 98 and I did not feel much difference, if it matters to you. So more refined, more sort of performance fuel did not feel particularly different in this car, if it matters again to you. General power of the engine feels lacking. It feels lacking in this two-wheel drive petrol model. Diesel, I suspect, is a lot more powerful, and I think a lot of other reviewers said for SAIC Maxus and for MG Gloucester, it's all the same car. They said that diesel performs a lot better. And in case you're new to this kind of to these videos and to the brand of this car and this mixed message of LDV, SAIC Maxus, what does it mean? Mate, it is because the parent company labels these cars very differently in different countries for unknown reason to me. Here it's advertised and purchased as LDV D90, but I keep calling it MG Gloucester because in India and in some other areas it's known as MG Gloucester. And basically, when we look at the actual badge, at the label attached to the car, it actually is the China manufactured SAIC Maxus that is known as SAIC Maxus in United Arab Emirates and other places as well. I would have preferred if that branding was consistent across the world. It would be much easier to create brand recognition, I think, for LDV, for what here is known as LDV D90, but it is neither here or there. So as far as the power is concerned, I'm not particularly impressed, but I knew that there will be trade-offs. I knew that this is not a Toyota Prado for a quarter of a price. I knew that there will be trade-offs, and I'm okay with them, because it's not a performance vehicle. And specifically this car, I wasn't buying for off-roading. So as a kind of quick addition to this fuel conversation, I can tell you that while the power is frankly lacking a little bit, especially on takeoff, especially on uphills, you can sense that it's very reluctant and slow on gaining momentum and shifting gears in automatic transmission. But overall, in the city, especially once you're already moving, it's just as fine as any other car. On the highway, I do not feel like I'm struggling either. It's fine to maintain the speed that's at least legal in Australia. We are not drag racing here, my friends, I keep saying it. This is not the car for it. And again, I apologize if the rain is getting too loud. I'm going to finish in a second. Hopefully this was insightful. If it was, please don't skip the fact that your support and your little like matters. It does matter. It takes you a second. It takes me a lot longer to put these videos together. So I really appreciate your support there. Don't skip it. Like the video if you found it entertaining, insightful, whatever it is doing it for you. Hopefully I'll speak to you next week. Videos are coming out at about the pace of one video per week right now because I'm really busy in real life. And have a good day wherever you are. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.